So it is the season. There are 100 days before the end of 2025. It's the end of the summer, or at least the vacation time of summer for a lot of people. As I'm recording this, is September 2nd. And it's a prime season for selling, for sales. Especially if you are in business to business, that's the time when we can see the end of the year. The typical fiscal year is January through December. Some companies differ, but we can see the end in sight. And now is the time to sell. Now is the time to re-engage with your potential clients. And what I see very often is entrepreneurs falling into the credibility trap, trying to appear more polished than they typically are, trying to persuade, focusing really on external validation, on their reputation, instead of just being who they are. This season it's like harvesting or fishing season. Hopes are high, but also thinking like this puts us in the mindset of it puts a pressure on our mindset. And I see a lot of people wanting to kind of button up and be at their best, and thinking a lot about what they're gonna say, really be top ready for it. Yes, I know I don't have my tie today, so I'm zipping out. There you go. And my message is to just chill, just to relax and keep being who you are. That's the best way to sell. So if you find yourself wanting to update your sales deck, chasing every lead, pushing to close without really truly diagnosing what clients need, selling at all cost, these are the symptoms that you are in the credibility trap. So the results, if you keep doing this, your sales cycle is going to be longer. I have seen companies, clients of mine, with sales cycles up to years, literally years. There is a way to, there are many ways to shorten this, of course, while staying profitable and not wasting time with clients who are not really good fits. I am doing a workshop in a couple days from now called, what's the title again? Let me look at my notes. There you go. Build, Trust, Close Deal. Sell smarter and profit more with authenticity. And in this workshop, I'm going to walk you through 5 principles for selling authentically. I have a slide for them, and I want to show that to you. But I don't know if I can do that I'll just speak through them, and then there you go. If you join the workshop, you will see that slide. A good incentive for you. It is this Thursday, September 4th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Here are the 5 principles. So give value, qualify your clients, diagnose the situation, frame options, and phase the work. So let me go through them one by one very quickly. Selling starts by giving. In fact, if you look up the origin of the word selling in English, the old English, selling is giving. It's giving sometimes. So giving a little bit of value initially is the seed for the trust that you will build, that is required to facilitate and lead a good sales process. How can you give something? Most people think, oh yeah, I can give like a lead magnet, I can give some free advice, I can give a free consult, and so on. But many times we forget to think about very simple things, human things, like giving a little bit of your time, giving your attention, giving a bit of empathy for something that just happened to one of your clients, or giving a little bit of humanity at the start of the sales process is always a good idea. There are other techniques and strategies that I will cover on Thursday. Second, qualify your clients. The credibility trap makes you get this, it's a scarcity mindset. When you want to feel credible, like, you want to feel love, and it's because you fear that there's not going to be enough leads or enough clients, enough people to help out there. I can guarantee you. How can I do that? How can I guarantee? Maybe I cannot guarantee, but okay, I'll say it anyways. I can guarantee you that there are more than enough, more people that you can help, more clients out there than you can even imagine. So let's flip the script. It is your job, your responsibility to be selective. And I want to borrow an analogy from my friend and colleague George Cao, who says, you have to wear the hat of the director of admissions. Like just if you had a school, you would be the director of admission. Of course, you need students, but your job is to scout the students, to select the students and make sure they are the right fit. Otherwise, they might be wasting their time and money, and you might be wasting a good spot for the right fit student. So second principle is qualify your clients. I have a process, of course, for this. I have frameworks for pretty much everything in systems. I call them activating structure, and I have a system for qualifying your clients effectively and simply and just genuinely. It's not an interrogatory. It's not a set of criteria. I mean, this is a set of criteria of questions, but you can do that very naturally. Third principle, diagnose the situation. Can you imagine if you went to the doctor and you say, oh yeah, my shoulder hurts right here, and the doctor would say, okay, yeah, no problem, hop on the table and let me cut you open and we'll fix that problem right away, without diagnosing, right? That would be crazy. So don't do that. You need to diagnose. You need to figure out what your clients or customers need before you put a product or a service or a package or anything, any value proposition, any solution together. You need to be a bit of diagnosing, right? But for a lot of them, in fact, almost all of them, we don't do that. We just go straight to solving, So third principle of selling is to always have some sort of a diagnostic. Sometimes it's just one question. It takes a minute. Hey, let me ask you a question before we jump to conclusion here. Have you done this? Have you tried this? How long has this been going on for? So try to uncover, because your clients, they know what they want. They don't always know what they need. That's a key difference right here. Fourth principle, frame options. So many times in sales, unfortunately, the conversation is about, are we going to work together, yes or no? But in fact, the conversation should be more about, okay, how are we going to work together? In this fashion, that fashion, or that fashion. Maybe there are 2, 3, 4, 5 options, even more options. It is, again, your job to present those options and the trade-offs for each of those options, the pros and cons for each of those options to your clients, right? That's your job. That's what a good sales process is about. It's about leading people through making better choices, because they don't know, initially, they probably don't know what's the best option for them. So you have to tell them, depending on pricing, depending on speed, there's lots of value, different types of value you can bring. So it is your job to frame options. When you do this, again, the conversation is not about if we're going to work with you, but how we're going to work with you. Totally different conversation. Okay, where am I? Principle number 5, phase the work. Everything will be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, it's not the end. That's a quote by John Lennon that I love so much, because it says it all. Don't try to sell everything at first. This would be like you're trying to establish a trusted relationship, a healthy relationship with the client, and you're trying to do a soup to nuts right away. Here's my best package, my best offer, my biggest product. Yeah, you get it all. No, it's like when you want to date a partner, you don't for the first date, you don't sit at the table and go, let's get married, the full package. No, take it step by step. So think about how you might design a journey that makes sense for your customers or clients, right? Selling at, move away from selling at all costs to being detached about the journey. So many times I had clients come to me, and we started with baby things. Even free help sometimes is the best way to start. So these are the 5 principles that I recommend to sell authentically and avoid the trap of trying to convince, trying to sway people, being sleazy, inauthentic, salesy. Nobody wants that. In fact, I do constantly research, and nobody wants to feel or sound salesy. Everybody hates it. So if you use these principles, if you adopt this mindset, this season should be a lot more profitable for you and a lot more joyful for you. So, sell with a clear goal, how much money you need to make, and also with the intention of doing it with love, with care, with humanity. Selling is an ancestral art. It's something that humans have done since the dawn of time. And reclaim that art. It is your job, it is your opportunity to work with really interesting people, cater to a very good market, and have impact, something that you really care about. So if you don't have a sales process now, or if you feel like your sales process could be better, if you feel like you're really tense about selling, join my session on Thursday. Join my session on Thursday. This will be a very good way to change, open up for more possibilities, and meet other colleagues, other entrepreneurs interested in profit and love. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Thank you.